Welcome to a deep dive with D-Rob Fitness, where we help you train smarter, optimize your performance, and create your fitness blueprint. And today's episode kicks off with our new series, Inside the Industry, where we sit down with coaches, entrepreneurs, and fitness professionals who are making an impact both inside and outside the gym. To kick off the series, I think it's only fair to bring back a guest that was featured in our first season of my original podcast, Turtleneck Table Talk, Andy Sykes, owner of Amplify My Training and Wichita Edge Sports Complex. Over the last 5 years, Andy has built a business focused on helping athletes maximize their performance, as well as expanding into facility ownership and even sports nutrition. He works with a wide variety of clientele, including elite level bowlers, and even works with Wichita State with the rowing team. Today, we're talking about coaching, entrepreneurship, leadership, work-life balance, and what it takes to build a successful career. See, successful, because that's important, career in fitness. Now, let's get ready to take a deep dive with Andy. So welcome, Andy.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it, Devin. I really do, yeah.
And see, you already messed it up.
Yeah,
That's
know,
okay.
right.
It wasn't me this time. I'm
D-Rob,
excited.
D-Rob.
I'm excited. It happens all the time. You would be surprised.
I think I saw your shirt and I was like, that my mind just went straight to it. But yeah.
It was because you were so mesmerized by that amazing intro.
I was
you
impressed.
Were just
I was
like,
impressed.
Yes.
You good.
Yes. So I thought we would get started, first of all, with you. Instead of me trying to hype you up, I call this section kind of talk that shit.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you about 90 seconds to do an elevator pitch for yourself.
Okay.
So no pressure, but I just did an amazing
Just an elevator pitch is
intro.
pressure.
I did an amazing intro. I know the viewers are locked in. And so this is going to be what's going to keep them watching all the way to the end. So.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, Amplify My Training. Amplify is my company that started really out of nowhere in my garage, where I was training clients. I was helping people during COVID, and a business came out of that. I didn't go into it trying to become a successful businessman or anything like that. I want to help people, and I have some knowledge that can do that. And that just rolled into the next thing, which was building the company. And then I needed a space and a gym, and then I needed more staff, and it continued to grow as we helped people. And I think that is the key behind what Amplify does. We amplify the individual or the team or whoever's involved with us. And they just keep coming back because they love it. And we will jump into everything we do, but there's many facets of Amplify. But the thing that holds them all together is we're helping you. And I think that's key to its success.
Nice. That's like crazy, because I feel like Amplify has been around for like forever. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's even crazy to hear that it started off during COVID, because like I said, I just feel like it's been around.
July 1 was our 5 year. We celebrated 5 years as a business, and it was really cool to do that. We gave away our free smoothies at our fueling station. So we have a nutrition station where we put all of our supplements and our proteins into drinks, and we were giving those out for free, and having free scans, body compositions. We kind of just had an open house for our 5 year, and it was just this month, so it was really cool.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Check social media. I'll talk to my staff.
Okay, because I always want personal invites.
Yeah,
it can be like it could be spam, but it just needs to be personalized.
Okay.
So kind of going back to that, like, how did you originally get into like strength and conditioning and training?
That goes all the way back to, when I was 13 in England, I did a thing called the Duke of Edinburgh Award, which is a service achievement where you have to do volunteer hours, you have to do a physical component, you have to do an expedition. It's just to grow. It's like a Eagle Scout type deal. Did that, and part of that was weight training. That led me into getting a certification when I was 16. Very low level entry fitness instructor. but it got me in that door, and then I was intrigued by that. So I've been certified since I was 16, so that was 18 years ago, and I've been in that industry since. So then we got to Wichita State, I trained more, got onto like a 5-day week program, and I was a student at that point. I'm learning everything. I didn't really, although I help people, that's because I'm nice. I didn't really have the credentials, the experience to help people at that point. But, you get that imposter syndrome sometimes, but really you just gotta, if people are willing to take it and they want your help, then it gets a little easier. So that's really what happened. And then I got my degree, and then I got my master's, and then I was teaching, and I've done 10 years of that. All of those, when you reiterate that information in your brain, it just becomes second nature. So I was lucky, or, people say it's lucky, but, we take advantage of the opportunities that we put ourselves in. I got some really good opportunities, and it developed me into who I am today. And because of that, I was able to create more opportunities and build this business. Yeah.
Nice.
It goes back a while, but Amplify is July 1, 2021. So just past COVID even, but the gyms were closed, and I was like, well, I've got a home gym. You want to work out there? And that was the start. People came in, and I had too many people, and I was like, I need to not do this at my house. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you kind of feel like, because you do, and you have like a background, obviously, with personal training,
Yeah.
and you have a background with like coaching and sports specific training. What do you feel like is the biggest difference between the two?
Definitely the goal output on an athlete in strength and conditioning is very quantitative. Like you can measure it. Is it speed? Is it power you're looking for? Is it agility? We can measure those, and we have analytics and equipment that measures your jump height or the bar speed when you're moving. That tells me if the weight's too much or too little, and we're trying to optimize always for performance. Whereas personal training is nothing about performance. It's about living a better lifestyle. And often that's range of motion, and weight isn't such a priority. There's no stigma, like less stigma involved in it. We're trying to get you to move better. We're trying to get you to be out of pain, to have better choices in your day-to-day life or even your nutrition. So it's more educational in a general broad sense. What'd you eat this morning? We have those same conversations, I guess, with strength conditioning, with athletes. It's just different. The goals are different. And we don't track as intently with personal training unless they request it, and we have the ability to do that. It's more a guide. We're trying to become your self-sufficient. We want you to be healthy and live a good life. So this is how, let me educate you how to do that. Let me say to you what I've learned and what I think is good. Whereas strength conditioning, I'm not trying to make you a coach. So I'm not trying to teach you how to train someone. I'm telling you what to do. And I think that's a little different. With the personal training, I want you to be independent and live a healthy lifestyle, and I've got to get you there. Strength conditioning is, this is what we need to do for this performance result and for the team. And that's the different angle I look at them at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose between personal training or like coaching, sports specific training,
I would say
prefer like working with, and you have to pick one.
I would say personal training. I think we make a bigger difference in people's lives long term with personal training. Strength conditioning is more short term goals. The largest thing you ever would prepare for is, the World Cup or the Olympics, which is 4-year span, when we start to train for that. Most of the time it's annual things that we're looking at. Nationals, we're preparing a team for nationals, or professional is going on tour, and that's an annual thing. Whereas personal training is 60 years long. Hopefully I'm getting people in their 30s when they can start to afford it. Most of the time people in their 20s are not our big clientele, because they have to be able to afford that, have that luxury to have personal training. It's not cheap. The whole business is not cheap, so it comes back to the customer. But But once they're able to put that disposable income to themselves and make themselves a priority, I can influence the next 30 to 60 years. And we talk about that with clients. We've got clients in their 80s, and we'd say, this is their last decade. So what does that last decade need to look like for you to be happy and for you to do everything you want to do? Do you have grandkids, great grandkids? You want to travel, see the world? What do you need to be able to do? What does your fitness level need to be able to walk, around Paris or when they go on vacation? And we get them there. I just think it has a much bigger influence.
Yeah, I love hearing that from trainers who work with not only on the coaching side, but also on the personal training side, because I know that when I first started training, I always had that ideal of I'm going to be working with athletes and this is going to be so much fun. And then I started working with athletes and I was like, this isn't as fun as I thought. And then you were talking about like when you're working with personal training, you feel like you're making a really big difference on that person's life and the quality of life that they have. And so it's like, they're both impactful, but in much different ways. And so just like you were saying, it's just kind of like you're educating these people on how to live better and improve their quality of life. And so it's just,
Education's key. I mean, there's so much different demographics, right, that can walk through your door. What they were learned when they were young, what their schooling was like, and like most people want the best for themselves. They just don't know how to do it or what the right answer is. And I don't know all the answers, but I do know this area of my expertise, and that's where I'm going to help you, and that's what Amplify is all about. So, yeah.
Okay, so speaking about Amplify, this goes into our second section. And so, like you said before, you're on year 5, which once again still, I don't know, still feel like it's been around a lot longer than that. But the next question is, besides the obvious answer of being on this podcast, which I know would be your number one choice, but what are you most proud of about Amplify and what you've been able to accomplish over this past 5 years?
Man, that's a tough one. We've been involved in so many cool things. Actually, I gave my staff a project just last month as we hit the 5-year. I said, we're so busy doing all these things that we don't really tell our story enough, and people don't know all the cool things we're doing. My resume hasn't been updated since I applied for a job in 2016, 10 years ago. And so I don't even know what the cool moments are. There's a lot of them. And we've been involved in our clientele at Amplify have world champions. We have national champions. We have US Open winners. We have, it's amazing what we have accomplished with our community. And I think that's what I'm most proud of. More than anything I do or Amplify it's the reach we get and the impact we have. It's really vast. I mean, I'm around the world, right? I'm lucky that we're in 2021 through 2026 with this company because I've got software and apps and technology on my side that I can influence people around the world. And I've got clients in 15 different countries. The vastness of it is what I'm proud of, the growth of it. I went back to England last year and went to a center a sports center that I don't normally go to, and I had people wearing Amplify shirts there because they knew me and they were supporting me. That was what? I wish we could see more of that in Wichita. If we go into a Genesis or a YMCA, we're going to see Amplify shirt. We see every now and again, but I need to give more out apparently.
Yeah. I mean, and if you are giving them out,
you're my first on my list. Yeah. You're first on my list.
But yeah, that's a really solid answer, and I feel like that's an answer of a high achiever because with a lot of people, you don't have time to necessarily look back on your achievements because you're already working on the next one, and you don't even think about all the things that you achieved. Because when you were talking about not updating your resume, I was like, oh yeah, it's been I can't even remember the last time I've updated my resume or just kind of taken a look back at some of the stuff that I've done. So I was like, man, I was telling you, there's not going to be too many difficult questions. And then I was actually, if I was thinking, how would I answer that? I was like, I don't know, because
it's tough. What are you most proud? I mean, there's so many cool things. The internship program I have is pretty nice. We have 2 to 5 interns from Wichita State. There are sport management or exercise science that I work with every year. They get an experience in one of the best strength conditioning facilities in the Midwest. I mean, between Amplify and Edge now, which has Edge, you've got thousands of athletes, you've got multiple sports, you've got huge events. We just hosted USA Nationals for badminton. They came from all over the states, came to our building. They're competing to be on the Olympic team and be ranked across the states. And my interns just came in a week before that. I had a summer intern, and he's jumped into that in one of the largest facilities in the Midwest, 110,000 square feet, and he's helping run and volunteer at a national youth event. And it's like, how cool is that? Like, I didn't get that on my resume and as an experience, but what that's going to do for him in 5 years when he's looking for a job, or he's got that experience and he's trying to get into a different arena or some sort of facility, and he say, well, I've done this here. I mean, that makes me proud. I get a little goosebumps with that because I know I'm going to have an impact on their life. And I didn't do too much other than I set it all up. You know, they came to me and we gave them the opportunity. So that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like, it sounds like a pretty big thing. So yeah, and that's just a normal week for you. So
it really, we do so much that it ends up being a normal week. Yeah, I mean, we work with Visit Wichita and we bring in these events to this building, and that's bigger than Amplify, but Amplify is part of it, and it's running and it's doing the smoothie stations and it's having fuel for the athletes that are there, so they don't have to have the Snicker bar or the candy bar or the chips. They've got, I can have a smoothie, I can have something nutritious. It all works together, and I don't know where the future holds. I don't know where we're going. I'm working so much in the day-to-day that that's part of that work-life balance that we'll talk about. It's tough.
So you touched base a little bit on this, but see if you could expand a little bit and see how that has changed with what was the problem you were trying to solve when you created Amplify, and how has that changed throughout the years?
The problem I face most of the time, well, when you start a business, it's funding. Everything is expensive, especially when you have no money. And I started buying equipment on Facebook Marketplace to build a gym, right? I went to church sales, and I picked up a captain's chair, and I picked up a leg extension, just random pieces that I started to put together to build a gym. Those are problems I faced back then, and how do I afford it? I need to train this client or 3 clients to get this money, then I can put it into this equipment, and maybe I'll get another client because I got this more equipment. Like, those seem rudimentary, like, challenges back then. But once you build the business, you get a business loan going through that. There's a big learning curve there. You seek out help from the resources around you. Every city has help. You just got to look for it and ask for it. Now, 5 years later, I think what we're currently working on, starting it right now, is all the different legacy programs. So I've got like 10 subscriptions to different things. I've got a training software. I've got a fitness and registration class software. I've got a payment software. I've got this and I've got that. A Google Calendar that I schedule myself, which doesn't talk to the other things. We're bringing in an Amplify app. Amplify app is going to have the training. It's going to have the video demonstrations that I have on one platform, but it's also going to bring in the scheduling and calendar that I have on another platform, and it's going to bring in the classes and the memberships and the payment that are in it. So we're building that right now, and it will make my life easier. I think it will streamline and improve the experience of the customer, having everything on one place. Because you got to download this app. Oh, now you're doing a scan. Well, you can do the scan, but if you want to look at the results, you have to download this app. And if it's a lot. I've expanded, and it was part by part. So you look for the software that does that job, but now we have so many facets that we gotta bring it together. So that's what we're working on now. And coding, and I'm not doing it. I found a good person. Finding the right people is important, very important. But yeah, that's what we're facing now, is bringing all that together, and that's a beast of a challenge. What it should look like, what's the interface, what's that user experience? not my area of expertise. I'm an exercise physiologist. So, yeah, it's difficult.
That's really funny because I feel like a lot of high performing trainers who are working on multifaceted things are all starting to try and create like their own apps or trying, because like you said, when you are trying to do one specific thing, you want the best app for that specific thing, but then you have to get another app for something. So you have one app for your training, one app for your nutrition, one app for and all those different things, that it becomes a lot, and you trying to streamline it for your clients, because like you said, clients have to get this and then they have to get that, and then communicate. It's just a lot. So it's just crazy to see the evolution of technology and the things that people expect from trainers now too.
Yeah, as soon as one gym does it, and then you're talking about huge corporations in some of these gyms, Crunch Fitness, Genesis. These are massive multi-man, teams that run these events with a lot of money. They build some sort of service that becomes the norm. You're trying to catch up, and you're trying to do something similar to be competitive. But that's the whole beauty of capitalism, right? We continue to improve. That's part of it. And if you don't like that, then entrepreneurship's not for you. It's a constant chase of what's next and what's the best thing and how do we help you best. So.
Yes, and speaking of those other gyms that we don't necessarily need to name, but what would you say makes Amplify different than any other gym? What's like?
Well, we say on our website, one of the first things it says is we're not a gym, we're a training center. Okay, so we don't have machines. Oh, I'll say that we've got like 5 machines now.
Okay, because I was going to fact check. So
come check it out. We have a leg press, hack squat, chest press, row, but most of our stuff is free weight, and it's jammer arms and different equipment that you'd see more in the sport specific realm. And then just free weights and resistance bands and space, just floor space, functional floor space, so like you can move, dynamic warm-ups and mobility and things like that. A lot of gyms get crammed in with as much equipment as possible. We don't have that. We have more, we maximize as much as we can. I actually expanded in March through the wall, and so I added about another 1,000 to 2,000 square feet, where we put all our recovery and stuff section in there in my office, and then the weight room freed up a bit more space. But yeah, we're a training center. Our goal is not to make you a member and hope you forget to show up so I keep receiving a check. Our goal is accountability, that you will not just show up, that you've got a time with a coach that is expecting you, so you better show up. You pay ahead of time, so you want to show up. You don't want to waste your money. And we get you the results you want. We educate you. We get to where you need to be. We've just, this last week, ended the world of physical therapy. We are now cash pay physical therapy. That's the newest addition. 2 months ago, we added massage therapy. So now we have strength conditioning, personal training, nutrition, massage therapy, physical therapy, athletic training. I've got staff on all of those facets. So in a sports center, where we have all these tournaments and everything going on, we have everything we need to be successful. We're not a gym. We're a training center to get you better. And that's the difference. And until you experience it, maybe that doesn't make sense. So if you're a listener and you don't know the difference, come experience it.
Love that. Always selling. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will move us into section 3, which we will talk about training philosophy. And so, in one sentence, how would you describe your training philosophy?
The most important thing to me is to enjoy life, for me. And that's come out of a lot of my life experiences, what I've gone through. I really prioritize the time we have here is short on earth. Make the most of it. Love it. There's never anything I want to say like, oh, I want to do that, but I'm not physically able to do that. There are some people that can't go hike Pikes Peak, or that sort of thing feels like if I want to do it, I want to be able to do it. There shouldn't be anything that should stop me. And physical ability stops a lot of people from pursuing their dreams. Their health stops them from pursuing their dreams. So live a healthy lifestyle so that you can pursue and achieve all the dreams that you have that you had from a childhood. So how do I do that? I mean, this is more than one sentence.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, you're allowed. I do a mix of functional bodybuilding splits. That's more my routine. My philosophy is just, like I said, you got me on the spot. Just live life, love life, and make a positive impact as you go. I don't know if that really gives you a philosophy, but hopefully you got an idea there where I'm at. Yeah.
Well, I agree. It is, especially when you're working with the general population, because it always seems like people get so caught up on like numbers and like necessary, like are they losing the weight? Because that's ingrained in our head that like sometimes we don't think about like, oh, I was able to walk up these stairs and like not be out of breath.
Right.
And I was able to do these like little small things that you won't necessarily see on the scale. And sometimes you might not necessarily see when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, but other people do. And so that just goes into just the living a good quality life through fitness. So I got you. I see what you're saying, even though it was longer than this one sentence, but we got there.
You got an idea.
So what do you feel separates a good coach from a great coach?
I feel like I have a better answer to this in the past. I've thought about this sort of question before. Kind of draw a blank right now. But let's see what I can come up with here. I think a lot of coaches know what it should look like in terms of exercise movement. But how do you convey that to the client? And I think that's different depending on the client. And you can say something 10 different ways, and one time it gets through and you're like, okay, they clicked that time. Like, you got to figure out different ways to say it. And just where a great coach puts their emphasis, what's important to them versus a good coach. I'm trying to think of all the coaches now, what ones I love and what ones I think are good. What are those qualities that they share? And I think a lot of them have read the textbooks. They got the book smarts. They understand what the answers should be. One of the things that kind of grinds my gears a little bit that makes, I think, a great coach from a good coach is, do you even practice it yourself? Do you live that philosophy? Are you just saying it, but then you're not in the best shape? You're not taking care of yourself. You don't prioritize nutrition. You don't prioritize getting up with a cold plunge. I'm not saying I do every one of those things, but it does grind my gears when you've got a coach that's heavily overweight, that's, and it's just like, would you go to a doctor or a mechanic that doesn't work on cars? Would you? They doesn't do it themselves. You need experience because you learn so much. There's book smart, but then there is so much that is gained from what does that feel like when there's an injury versus it's a minor injury versus a strain or like a type 1, type 3 strain. What does that feel like? Have you ever been injured? When you rehab an injury, like what are the things where you feeling? It's more than just what you know, right? Yes, I think that makes a difference.
Yes.
Experience.
Because it's funny that you bring that, because I always, and that's one of the reasons one of the many reasons that I've always had respect for you, because it's one of the things that I look at too, is like, I don't feel like, just because you're a trainer, you have to have like a 6-pack and be in the gym, dedicated, but you should be looking like you work out. And you shouldn't be coming to, your training sessions with, McDonald's or something, like just eating your car. But you know what I mean? but if you're going to do that, but it is just about that presentation of actually practicing what you preach. And so I completely agree with you on that. And that part is just like, is how can you trust advice from somebody if they are not that living example?
Yeah,
and that
or
don't
if
have to
they
be
ever
perfect.
never done it. I mean, some coaches have done it and they've moved away from it, or life changes for them, but they have done it and they do know a little bit more on the experience side of that. But those that are still doing it, I think, probably hold more value in my mind. Same as I was a better teacher 3 years ago when I was a teacher than I am now, because I'm not in it right now. I still know a lot of that knowledge, but like I knew I was sharper 3 years ago on the textbook knowledge because I'd read the textbook every day. Like what you do is what you're good at, right? So that's what makes good coaches. They still are still active in it themselves.
Okay, so we've been talking about this 5-year mark. I'm sorry, it still blows my mind because, like I said, I just feel like it's been around for forever. But what is something that you've changed your mind about? Maybe like a training philosophy, maybe even just a business practice, anything with Amplify that you've changed your mind over the past 5 years?
Well, it's definitely we change our mind all the time. There's often things happening where you're like, okay, well, let's pivot then, because that's not what we thought it was going to be. I had multiple locations. I had the Derby location, my original house location, and then we went into Bel Air. Now I only have Bel Air. So like we had to change our ideology or our marketing plan from advertising all of them to really focus on one, to be more successful at this one and not spread ourselves too thin. That's what I commonly find myself issues is I'm spread so thin. Finding the right people is so difficult, and we may touch on this again later, but if you find a staff member that is they just work with your personality, they've got what you need them to have in terms of resume and experience, but the personality is so important. You got to hold on to those. We've had to pivot with different staff where they didn't work out, so we thought they were good, and they are good, but they just didn't work enough right now with the direction we're going. It didn't work out. So like, best of luck to you. We're going to split paths. That's one example, but I mean, the facility is another example. The apps are another example. The subscriptions, I'm here. I don't really love it. I want to let's pivot and change. It happens all the time. I can't think of anything specific right now, but just being able to be adaptable is very important in business entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and that was very interesting to hear because going back to our original podcast that we had with Turtleneck, and I think that was right around the time where you were expanding to the Derby location and everything.
Yeah.
And so to see in kind of real time where we had that happen, and then we had to kind of adjust and kind of adapt and be like, okay, this isn't kind of working for me on different levels, so let's just kind of hone in. That's really cool to hear. As like I said, that's going back, and because I remember the excitement and everything. And
it is, and there's always stuff happening. I think some people might see that as failure, right? You open up a facility, like a new location, and it doesn't really work out. Is that a failure? I never look at it like that. I mean, I'm just like, well, what we need to do? Okay, what's the next step? So we keep moving forward. Like there is no failure. There's just like you might make mistakes or you might have changes, but like you just keep going. Like,
I always say that failure is an opportunity for growth, and you have to sometimes go through those failures and go through those missteps, and it's how you handle those failures and those missteps that really says a lot about not only you as a person, but also your drive, your commitment and stuff, because you can take something, because it's easy. I always like tell clients it's easy to do things when things align perfectly, but when shit hits the fan, how are you able to adapt and become better? And that says to me says more about you than even if things were going super successful, because it's easy when things are successful. So
and you apply that to everything in your life, everything. Training, when your hard days are the most important ones to get in there, and absolutely, I think it's just the way you look at life in general. You just got to be a positive outlook and looking forward, not back. You learn from those. Don't neglect the previous, but You always got to have eyes on the horizon and eyes what's coming up. How do we prepare for the next thing? Because that's what we're really focused on, is the future. Not we can't change the past, just learn from it. Yeah.
All right. So moving along to segment number 4, we got sports specific training.
Okay.
So you work with athletes in different sports.
Yeah.
Like what are some of like the main sports you would say, or what would you say like?
Big one, well, as you mentioned, I work with the WSU rowing team. We work with WSU bowling team. And bowling is obviously my niche and what I work with a lot around the world. So that goes to the higher levels.
Because you're like a really good bowler.
I've been really good. I'm a little bit out of practice, I'd say. I only bowl maybe once a week nowadays. I had the potential to be good. But yeah, I need to put a lot more time and dedication to it if I wanted to compete with my clients. That's for sure. They that's their life, and they're very good. They're very good. So it's cool to watch them do it, and I do get a little jealous sometimes, but I'll get back to it. It's a lifelong sport. That's one of the best parts about it. But yeah, we have those. I mean, most of our group classes are probably volleyball and soccer. Okay. So girls. They're very coachable. I tell you, girls are probably easier to coach than guys. They listen much better. They take coaching criticism and cues better. I have a lot of good guys too. I want to say it's always negative on the guys. It's just harder sometimes. Some of them got a bit more ego. Mm-hmm. They challenge you, and they're learn quick. But basketball and I think that's the majority of those sports. Soccer, basketball, volleyball. We had a lot of baseball when we had our Derby location, but that was an area, and in my area of expertise, I partnered with someone on that. And then soccer and bowling, yeah, rowing and bowling.
Okay. So how does your training style kind of adapt to each sport?
You got to look at their needs. You've got to look at what the outcome they're looking for. I mean, you can see it when you work with one population over another. If I got the rowing team to do the same workout as the soccer team, you're going to see that the rowing team has a lot more power, a lot more strength. The soccer team has a lot more like endurance and agility. Like their footwork is quick. They can move. They can do agility ladders. They can move around, but they can't pull 300 pounds like the rowers can. So different populations, different focuses. You got to understand, what does that population need, and when does it need it for? And you build out your big picture, and then you bring it back. Like, okay, how do we get there month by month? You do cycles, right? You know about this. I know all our viewers, what mesocycles, mesocycles, macrocycles. You build out the program, and then you go week by week. Like, okay, what is the workout this week? What are they doing? That's how you build them differently. And just the goals are different. One needs to be quick and agile and light and explosive. One needs to be strong and high endurance and high resistance to fatigue. Basketball needs to have a big vertical. Volleyball needs to have a big vertical. Do we need to learn how to jump, how to land so we don't get injury? Rowing team doesn't ever jump. We don't need to learn how to land, right? They need to learn how to row. So the goals, the likelihood of injury goes into it, and how do we make sure that they have the right techniques that are ingrained in them? So like, injuries don't happen when they're in the weight room. Only 3% of injuries ever happen in the weight room. The weight room's the best place to be if you want to avoid an injury. It never happens. It happens on the playing field, happens on the court, happens on the pitch. So how do we avoid the injuries on those occasions is teaching the body the mechanics in practice. You practice it enough, it becomes autonomous. And then when they're playing, they don't think about it, the body just moves that way. So it's rehearsing those drills. And that's, as simple as when you squat, push your knees out, right? So that you come between the hips and the knees don't go knee valgus and have some medial strain or something like that, and you got knee pain. Teaching them how to squat. And it's that simple, right? So now when they jump or they land or they stop, the muscles learn which positions to be in, and they just naturally go there because that's where they're stronger, because that's where they train. So they naturally feel that's least resistance. Let's push into that, right? But that's the ingrained path that we put there purposely. So, yeah, that's how you do it.
So you work with a lot of bowlers, and would you say like bowlers is kind of like your specialty, would you say?
For sure. I would be one of the higher level around the world in what I do there with the bowlers.
Okay, so, and bowlers, don't come at me. Just saying.
And non-bowlers don't come at us. That is not a sport.
I was about to say, it's not looked at as like the traditional like athletes.
Yeah.
So when you are working with bowlers, because you kind of talked about every other sport except for your main sport.
Yeah.
So what are you kind of like, what are you training for? What are you trying to develop within the athletes? So I call them athletes. I call two bowlers athletes. So
they are.
Yes.
They do some amazing things. They're in the Pan Am Games. I've got clients that are out there that travel around, and the World Games. I competed in the World Games. We're definitely athletes. It definitely looks different than other sports. It's definitely not as athletic. But the game is moving that direction. It is becoming more athletic. It's becoming more speed, more power, more rev rate in the game, because that ends up scoring higher scores. So that's the direction it's moving. Then it becomes, you can't be unathletic and be athletic, right? You can't live that life that's unathletic. If you look at the Pro Tour now, you'll see people are getting fitter. The average person is thinner than they used to be, is more muscular than they used to be. They can throw the ball faster than they used to be. They have more rev rate than it used to be. Like, that is the trend we're moving to. And in order to get those things, yes, you need to practice, but your physical ability level needs to be higher. You need to be stronger to be able to manipulate that bowling ball. It's 15 pounds, but you throw it, I can throw mine at 30 miles an hour. Like, that doesn't happen unless you are strong and capable. So, yeah, I've gone blank. What was the question?
You kind of were talking about, but it was just kind of, what are you trying to train for when you're working with bowlers?
So it would depend. I mean, first thing I asked them is are you right-handed, left-handed? What's your kind of average? Do you have any pain? Like, injuries are a thing that impact bowling the most. And on most sports, if you're injured, you're not practicing, you're not training. So therefore, you're not getting better, and your competition is. So injury is always the number one priority, to get you out of it and prevent you from going back into injury. So that's one of the first questions is, you got any irritations, any frustrations in your body? Is your wrist hurt, your elbow hurt, your knee hurt, the hip hurt? Those are the big ones in bowling, but in baseball it might be your shoulder or something like that. Get them out of injury. Teach them why it probably happened. Okay, this is what causes that type of injury typically. Let me see some video of you playing. See some footage. It looks like that is the cause, like that right there. You break it down, pause it, little slow motion. That right there I don't like. How do we fix that? Teach them how to do it, and then it goes into their training program. So like, I do want them to have performance. They need to have balance. They need to have grip strength. They need to have this. But we also got to, number one is make sure they're not injured, because if you're injured, you cannot practice, and practice is what makes you better. Having a dumbbell press of 80 pounds, like dumbbells, versus 50 pounds isn't going to make you a better bowler, right? Even though I'm making you stronger, I'm making you more athletic, more capable, it doesn't have 100% correlation and crossover to the sport. Practice does. If you practice more, you're going to be better, right? How do we make you practice more? Avoid the injury. Fix your mechanical issues. So that goes big into the training program. Then it's the other stuff, the balance, the proprioception, the flexibility, and things like that.
That is so interesting, though, because I love that take on it, because, a lot of times with a lot of sports, people, and especially, like I said, it tends to happen a little bit more when you're working with guys of kind of like the ego lifting and everything like that. But you breaking it down where it's like, hey, we're actually just trying to make so you're not getting injured, and you breaking down the movements and being like, that's goes back into a question I asked before. What's the difference between a good coach or trainer and a great coach or trainer? And it's like, not only being able to fix the problem, but to not only being able to figure it out, but also come up with ways to avoid it and how to strengthen the areas around it and everything. So, we just circling on back, spinning the block. So
Yeah, I'm pushing from good to great. I'm
yes,
hearing.
yes.
Moving the needle.
All right, so we will move on to segment 5, and we're going to talk about a little bit about nutrition and supplement. And so you kind of started a nutrition supplement side.
Yeah.
Like, what led you to do that?
Well, that was during. I was good in school at nutrition. A in class. I really liked it. It was interesting.
And didn't you teach?
I ended up teaching it. Yeah,
Okay.
I was one of the better students in that class. And when I was in the master's program, they were like, "How about you teach it as part of your master's program?" And I was like, I can try. I'll give it a go. I'm always up for an opportunity, and I always say yes to most things. That's something I'm learning not to do. But yeah, I gave it a go, and I loved it. I read the textbooks, and then the next year the textbook came out, the new edition, and you read them, and most of the information is the same. There's a couple of new things that come out each year. But we also had these student projects, and that was over supplementation, and each student, 30 kids in my class, every year, 30 different supplements, individual ingredients. You got creatine, you got beta-alanine, you've got citrulline. Do a semester project on it. Find research articles. Find what's good, what's bad, what are the dosages that work, what are the dosages that don't. Is it in animal? Is it in rat? Human. What are the double blind, trial, placebo, all those different stuff. I've got so much research after 10 years, 2 semesters a year, right? 30 students every semester, 60 a year, 600 research articles that I can pull up like that. And I was learning a lot about all these supplements. I'm like, well, I know which ones are good and what dosages to do, and why don't I get into selling them? And so then I looked up different labs in the States and how do you even do that? Like, I didn't know. I found one that I liked, and it's in Georgia. And I've never visited the facility, which I think is a negative. I want to do better and go visit it. But they help me create stuff, and they ship it out for me. And so then I created different supplements that package them together. And none of it's proprietary blend, which some of the supplements you'll go to a supplement store and you'll see it won't tell you the amount in the product. It just says 5 grams serving size, and this is what's ingredients that are in it, but not how much of each ingredient, because that's their secret formula sort of thing. But also, that's where they're hiding how they make their money, because they're putting the small amount of the expensive stuff that you need and a large amount of the inexpensive stuff. So, I have it all displayed, every dosage, every ingredient that's in there in my products, and still working on the best flavors. That's the hard part. The taste is what people buy it for, unfortunately, not the effect most of the time. Mm-hmm. So we're still working. It's getting better, and we're trying right now to rebrand and redesign our labels to make them look newer. They're pretty basic because, again, I did this as I was starting out 5 years ago. I did that. Pretty one of the first things I did when I started the company was get supplements. So. Yeah, it's grown.
That's awesome, because little side story, but because at one point we were either like sponsors or affiliate with the same supplement company. Yeah. And so it's just like so crazy and so cool to see you start your own, your own branch, and to see it continue to grow, because once again, when we originally had you on the podcast, you were talking about it, and to see it still, thriving and everything.
Yeah, I would say it's better. Yeah. More sales than ever before. I would say a big portion of that is our smoothie shop that we have now, where we're using our products in the smoothies. We got good sales out of them. So,
what's your best seller?
The best seller is our strawberry banana smoothie. I think people just love that fruit mix. Mm-hmm. Good flavor. We put it in with vanilla protein so it doesn't overpower anything. Those have always been a hit at our big events.
I think I've had that, because I think when we went and did
you tried
tour,
that one, yeah.
I think when we did our tour with you for Turtlenecks Try, you made us a shake, and you made us that shake.
Okay, it's still the most popular. Hasn't changed. We did just bring out 4 new flavors. We've got cookies and cream, which has been a big hit over the last month. cinnamon swirl. That's another new one. And we have a berry protein. Birthday cake is the other one. So we have 4 new flavors. They're selling okay. They're getting some trials out there. But yeah, you can't beat the strawberry banana, which, you know, on a weekend can sell, you know, 100 smoothies sort of thing. And it does well, that one.
And it's just like a perfect connection with you taking over, which we'll talk about very shortly, with the complex of having, like you were in how you mentioned earlier, just having a healthy alternative for when people are coming to watch these games, or having even the athletes themselves, instead of just having, you know, just a typical hot dog, hamburgers, nachos, you know, pops and stuff, having actually things that can help refuel them or to help meet nutrition, you know, goals. That's like really cool.
Yeah, just so also it's just in their eyes, especially for the youth and the kids. They probably aren't thinking about it or know about it yet. The parents are more of our customers that we are selling them to, and then they'll give that smoothie or drink to their kid. But it's in their eyesight, right? It's part of like this environment, and so it gives them, it's in their mind, and then that will positively impact them later on, whether they know it yet or not. I'm confident it will. So it does work really well. We'll get into it soon enough.
Yeah. And since I'm talking to apparently the supplement guru who just casually drops off all this knowledge of, like, you know, been doing this for 10 years and all this stuff that, you know, maybe should have put that in his elevator pitch.
I need to work on that.
If you were to suggest, what would be like your top 3 suggestions for supplements for like the everyday person? If they're just like, I don't know anything about supplements and just general, because I know there's obviously, you got to know the person, because I always hate when people like, which I always do ask these questions and stuff where it's like, well, it's kind of, you know, specific because every person, but just generally speaking.
Again, like, it is difficult because the first thing that everyone needs is enough protein in their diet. I don't think supplements is the answer to that, though. I think you now need to have a good diet. Like, you need to eat good food. So I want to not say protein powder. I want to have them have a good diet. The first supplement that they don't get enough of naturally in a diet that is good, a good diet, is probably creatine. That's got to be number 1. It just has so many benefits and almost no negative side effects. If you care about the water weight retention, then I think you're worrying about the wrong thing. It just helps you, muscle contraction, your brain health. It helps. There's so many facets, and I don't want to bore your customer. There's whole podcasts on creatine, so go look at them. Very good for you, and the dosages keep increasing, and they keep seeing benefits up to 20 grams now. A normal dosage is 5 grams. On creatine, and that has great benefits physically in the weight room and in training. But now they're looking at the effects on pregnancy, creatine. They're looking at the effects on Alzheimer's and dementia with creatine. The bigger dosages are really impactful. So that's got to be one. The second one, for everyday people, you got to have like the D3, right? The D3 is your sunlight vitamin. A lot of people go through the winter blues. You know, you don't feel as good in the winter. You're not getting that sunlight. I think D3 is very important for it. It's vitamin D3, but really it acts more like a hormone. It should be probably called hormone D3, not vitamin D3. It has like 5,000 different interactions. I might be getting that number wrong, but it's significant impact.
We'll fact check it.
Yeah, fact check that. But it on DNA synthesis and different roles in the body, like D3 is hugely impactful, more than other supplements. So that would be another one for the average everyday person. Most of the time D3 is sold with K2. K2 helps absorb D3. So they normally come paired together. If they don't, maybe change the brand that you're using. The omega-3s are really good. Use Amplify.
I was about to say shots fired.
Most of them nowadays do come with it. It's commonplace. There's coenzyme Q10, but That's really good for everyone, but it's a little bit more niche. It's becoming more popular. The omega-3, like fish oils, very good for you. Heart health, brain health. Everyday person, that would beneficial. But you're not going to see any difference really in your life. Like, you're not going to notice it with D3, with K2, with omega-3, with coenzyme Q10. Those are impacting such a small portion of your body internally that you won't see outward effects until 20 years later. Like, they help you with longevity and having a good, healthy lifestyle, which is the hardest part about them, because people don't see that immediate result.
Yeah.
Where creatine is easy because you do see increased strength, you do see lower water retention, you do see improved endurance. Like, it's quick. So I think creatine sells easier, and that's why it's so popular. If you are in the more of a training, let me go one more. If you're a bit more training, either beta-alanine. I don't think most people get intense enough to really benefit from it. It's in almost every pre-workout. It's the one that makes you feel the paresthesia, that tingling sensation. Most people don't get intense enough to impact that because they're not getting lactic threshold. If you're not like, oh, I want to throw up, that's not intense enough for beta-alanine to impact you, because it's trying to buffer lactate. Lactic acid is what builds up to make you fatigue and burn and then want to throw up. So unless you're getting to that burning throw up stage, it's not going to really impact you that much. The big one I like, that I think has a good health consequences, is the citrulline, which is a blood flow enhancer. Like, it's a vasodilator, helps relax smooth muscle tissue. So the veins dilate and expand, better blood flow. That's going to help you decrease blood pressure. So that's good for a lot of people. But it's also an increased pump, right? So if you are working out, you're going to swell more. With more swell, with more intracellular stress, you're going to have more stress on the muscle. You're going to grow the tissue quicker. And you're supplying it with blood, so that all the nutrients that you eat. So if you do have a good diet and you are doing all the right things, the citrulline helps you get it to the active tissues. So then you just need to move, and it works. So I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to give you shit for doing 4, but since you were plugging your own brand, I let it slide because I was like, okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, well, moving to section 6, we're getting there. We got entrepreneurship. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So owning a gym seems like a dream to a lot of people.
It does. Wow.
Not me, but to a lot of people. So what do you think is the biggest misconception, or even with yourself, what was like the biggest learning curve you had from going from just kind of training people? Because once again, little side note that we were trainers together back in college. Yeah. So
we started in school together.
Yeah.
I know. When I'm in a gym, I'm happy. I'm moving, and I find there's just a joy in being there and moving. When you own a gym, you don't get that because you're there to work. Like, there's so much things to do, like always, that I don't get to enjoy it like I used to. And I think that's the big thing that I had to learn is, like, how do I turn off work mode to enjoy this? And I haven't been to a commercial gym in years, but there's a little bit of me who wants to go to one and just like go work out there and experience that, because I don't have to. If I see trash, I'm not going to worry about it. If I see someone doing something wrong, it's like, it's not my place. Not my place. just you're there to enjoy it. Because you just it's hard to not be working when you're at your job, which is the gym. So that was something that I had to learn, and still today learning. I get in there and I'm lucky because I own the place, so I bring my dogs. That helps me a lot in de-stressing. They're there, and you might not think it makes a difference, but I think I really do notice it. That like if there's stress, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? If you can focus on that for 1 second, it just takes you out of the moment, and that's helpful for me when I'm getting overloaded. So that's at least the cool part about
it. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about the Wichita Edge Sports Complex, and how did that like come about?
Man, that's a hard part of the whole business I've had since I started. Like I said, I started in 2021 with Amplify, although I was training for many years prior to that with other companies. Amplify went into the Bel Air location, it was at Wichita Hoops at the time, which is a athletic facility focused on basketball, big 100,000 square foot facility, and I was the training center there. And I moved in and I became the training resource. So I always tell people when I first had it and I explain it, I was like, it's like a Walmart, and you have the optician at the beginning or the nail salon right at the entrance on that segment. I was the training small segment in a big facility. And unfortunately, the facility didn't work. Like, it wasn't making money, and it went bankrupt. And that was terrifying because I just signed a lease with them and they went bankrupt. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got all this equipment, I've got a business loan now, I've got, like, what? And the ownership and the management that happened there, where they went through they went and they brought someone else on and they ran it for 2 years. And unfortunately, it still didn't work. And I'm there trying to run my business on the edge with the whole emphasis is athletes are in this building coming to me for the training, but now no athletes are there because it's closing. And now someone else runs it and it doesn't work as good as it needs to. And I'm still trying to be productive and make my business work. And so I was the only thing that lasted 4 or 5 years in that space. And so the owners of the facility came to me and said, can you run it? And didn't say yes initially. I was like, I already know the history. Apparently it doesn't work very well. Like, the numbers aren't good. This is what I'll do to them. So I put in a proposal sort of thing. I said, I can do this if you do this. And they gave me a shot last year. It's now been it'll be 12 months and 2 weeks. August is when I first had my first event, which is coming up on the second time I'll have it in a few weeks. Big changes I had to make is I got to take it from like that one sport emphasis to more. So we really pushed a little bit more into volleyball. We pushed more into soccer, and we brought in more sports so that we have a wider population base, a larger customer base that we can make that work. Unfortunately, it is a grind. It's never going to be easy. That the economics of a building like that, the air conditioning is ridiculously high. Like, the cost is huge. So it's a work in progress. It's not where I want it to be, but that's everything I do. I'm going to continue to move it forward. So it's in a better place than it was, and I need a team to run something that big. Luckily, I've got experience. I was a director at Wichita State running that building, associate director. That's come in handy. What I learned there, the systems you have in place, the protocols. But I had to build that from scratch. I literally had no money in the account, no staff, no protocols. We didn't have we didn't have chairs or a desk. We didn't have a computer. Like this, I got a facility and it's bare bones. Like, you have the walls, you have basketball hoops, and the lights come on, the air conditioning does come on, but there is breaks, there's gum on the floor. Like, I had to completely clean the place. It took me 2 months to clean the place. And again, I'm still trying to run Amplify. So, like, it's difficult, a little bit stretched thin, but what I was able to really lean on is those internships, those partnerships in the community. What teams I'm working with, can they help me in some way, and I can help them. Like, it's all about partnership. If you want a sports complex to work, it has to be a community complex. Like, it has to take more than one person. It really is a community, and I think people have really embraced that. I think people enjoy coming in and knowing that, hey, clean up after yourself, because like no one else is like we've got to do it. This is a community center now. Unfortunately, it's a for-profit business, and one of the avenues I want to go is maybe go to more of a 503c nonprofit organization, because we don't make money. I mean, it is nonprofit at the end of the day. It's just not structured that way. And so it might be something we move towards going forward. And then it opens the door to other things, grants and community outreach and things like that. So yeah, something that may happen in the future.
Dude, that's like such an incredible story, because I didn't know like the behind the scenes of how all that happened. I was just like opened up social media and it's just all that you were really taking over. And I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But to hear all the behind the scenes stuff, that's
it's not been easy, and it still is not easy. I'm grinding daily, still now.
Yeah. And once again, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to own a facility.
Honestly,
but that's freaking.
Yeah, and if you ain't built out for hard work, I don't recommend it. It's not as fun as you might think. Like, yeah, I've got access. I can go play shoot ball anytime I want, but I don't have any time to do that. Oh, and then I need friends. I've got some friends. But.
Speaking of which, how do you balance everything? Because you have Amplify, you have, now you're managing, you're running the facility at Wichita Edge, you have your own coaching clientele, you have your personal life, you have your own training that you do. You, like last time when I was trying to set up this interview, you were heading to Vegas to some bowling or like you were just all over the place. How do you balance everything?
I don't know if it is a balance, honestly. I hear that a lot, growing to college and stuff, work-life balance and figuring that out. I don't know how much of it I really agree with going through it. There isn't a lot of balance. It's a lifestyle. You choose that lifestyle. And for me, I don't like to be bored, so I find things to do no matter what, whether that's I'm gardening, I'm in my yard, cutting the grass, or every minute of my day that I'm, awake, I'm going to do something. So what are you going to do? And it just tends that I do a lot of the sports stuff, which I love to do, but it fills my day. I don't work on an 8-hour day. That just doesn't happen. My work day is probably minimum 12 hours a day. But that still gives me 12 more hours. And if I sleep 8, I still have 4 hours of other stuff I can do. And I really optimize a lot of it. I don't watch TV very much. I might fall asleep to it. I'm pretty critical about my free time and protecting it. Just bought a camper, so I'm going to go out to the lake on Friday, and I'm going to turn the phones off, no signal out there, and be away from everything. If you ask my wife the same question, I think she'd probably say that I don't have balance either, that she doesn't see me enough. That's something we'll work on. And we both knew when these opportunities come, I'm not an idiot. I knew what sort of undertaking that would be. And I had that conversation with my wife, being like, this is the opportunity. This is how long, I want to give at trying to do it. Is that okay? And it's got to be, I think, both say okay to it, because suddenly you don't show up, you're not home until late, and your wife's wondering why. She needs to have an understanding going in that that's the way it's going to be, but it's not going to be forever. And you got to protect yourself, protect your time, because people will take advantage if you're not careful. I always, every day, give myself 2 hours of workout time. And I do that in the middle of my day. Some people like to do early morning workouts. I'm not one of those. I'm more of a night owl myself, struggle in the mornings. But I get there and I'll be training clients. And then roughly at noon to 2 o'clock, I'll have my workout and my lunch. Every day, that's my time. And it really helps me, because I'll work for 3 to 4 or 5 hours, 6 to noon, whatever it is. And I'll get that done. And then I'll have my own time. And then I feel like I got more energy again. I can go from 2 to 8. I can do another 6 hours there. And I don't feel like, oh my God, that was 12 hours of work, because it really felt like 2 6s. And I had this nice break in between. I find it to be a lot easier that way. And I still get my workout in, so I'm still healthy. I'm still looking good and feeling good and fit. And that's worked for me. So I'll keep doing it.
Nice, because you hit on 2 key points that really resonated with me, because you hit on one of those things, because I always feel like people are always like, oh, you're so busy and everything. And it's, yes, I am busy, but it's also because I find stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly like, if I have free time, then I'm figuring out something that I can do in that time. That's not necessarily like watching TV or what, even though I do have times where I relax, but I'm finding things.
But you choose to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's your choice. I want to watch this show. Then make time to watch that show, but don't just binge and just like sit there and find out. Like, there is some value in boredom, like creativity and things, but I think there's a lot of value in optimizing your short time on Earth. So.
And then you hit on another key factor that I do too, that I was like, oh yes, it's good to hear that other people do it too. And it's something I tell my clients to do too that are struggling, is to literally, like, I put an appointment, just like I would put an appointment to go to a doctor or whatever, or a training client. I put in my time for training, and I know what time it's going to be at. And when I am training, people know, just kind of like, I might, if you call, I might pick up real fast, but I'm going to, get you off the phone quickly, or, but that's like my time to work out. And I tell people like, hey, sometimes you just have to do that for yourself, because, you have to make the time for it sometimes. And so
you can't be there for others if you're not there for yourself.
Exactly.
And it goes back to being, the great trainer versus a good trainer. Like, you got to do it yourself to be the great trainer. And you got to figure out how that works in the schedule. I know I won't show up at my best self if I'm not feeling good, if I'm injured, if I don't look good, don't feel good. I have to put myself as a priority so that I can be as efficient and as hardworking as my lifestyle really needs it now that I've created everything I've created.
So I was going to say if, but I know it's not an if. So when you experience burnout, what do you do to kind of like overcome it?
I focus on my wife when I really feel overwhelmed. I feel like if I've taken care of that, it doesn't matter what happens at work. Like, if it all collapses and burns down, sort of thing, I've got my wife, and I'll be happy. So when I do feel really stressed and really burnt out, I just talk to her, and we have time together, and we'll, like I said, go to the lake and just zone out and just be together. That recharges me a lot. And if I know that I'm safe there, and my relationship's good, my marriage is good, family's good, I don't care. Like, again, it's like failure. It's like, it doesn't exist. Like, so what? If Amplify and Edge, like, as much as I've done and built it, if it closed tomorrow, next week I'm doing something else. Like, I'm still going to be alive. I'm still going to be moving forward. There's going to be something else. Like, I wouldn't let it destroy me. So I focus on what I do care about. And if my marriage was over tomorrow, then that would change everything. Like, that would be really hard. But that's not going to happen. So I try not to worry about the little things, which, even though it doesn't seem like a little thing, but the business in terms of a full life, it's not as important to me as family.
Okay, and don't worry, I'll clip this out and I'll send it to Lacey. So
yeah, clip it out. I'll get her to watch this. Hey, you really watch 30 minutes.
Okay, we are almost there. We're going to go in, because we're going to kind of continue this with going to segment number 7, where we're going to get into a little bit in the personal. And you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but when you're not coaching, what are you doing?
Reading anything. I mean, there's so many things on the to-do list. We have a whiteboard, just like you'd find in a classroom, that has to-dos, currently doing, done, review, other stuff. Like, we have just task boards. And I've got a great staff member, Bella, Coach Bella. She's helps me. She pretty much works full time for me now. She helps me organize. Our personalities really match really well, and she helps me be efficient. But, I'll go in there. I've got to clean. So is the gym clean and hygienic for everyone? One of the best things about Amplify is it is clean. A lot of my clients really respect and appreciate that, because it's not a commercial gym where there's so much germ and people aren't wiping things down. Like, we ensure it's clean. They can see that as soon as they walk in, it's like, oh, this is tidy and clean and put together. Like, that holds true. Emails, chasing people for the people that owe me. Amount of people that owe me money from the sports center, like I'm running that. What tournaments are coming up? Okay, do we need stock for the concession stands or the restaurant or the restrooms? Toilet paper and all this. What are the subscriptions and bills I have to pay? Programming the clients, which is the foundational part of Amplify success. Don't let that get away. Make sure that's all done. Outreach is, we barely even have time for it now. Like we marketing and social media, we're looking at other companies to do that all for us because we can't do it all and we're not the experts in that. So trying to outsource some of that stuff, and that's taking phone calls and voicemails, and like I typically have on average 8 clients a day. Like that would be an average like through the week. So if I'm there 12 hours, then I've got 4 hours of 2 of them are my own time. So then I have 2 hours of office work. I used to have an office upstairs in a real office, but that did not work for me because I'm outside of my space. Like this gym is me. So I just put a desk. I went through, like I said, I expanded through the wall, knocked down the wall, put a desk right there. I can see the whole gym. My desk is there. I can be working. Someone walks in, I can talk to them. I can go back. I can do it. There's plenty of stuff to do all the time. I can't catch up.
And so even though you're working all the time, that gives you, when you do have the time to disconnect, you really just
I
like you're
appreciate
doing
it.
this
Yeah,
Friday.
you appreciate
so
it more.
you kind of like, because I feel like we're very similar in the way that we just like to work and we're doing things that we're passionate about. And also as you're starting off with something relatively new, not with Amplify, but like with which you have to, I always joke with people that you have to work hard to be lazy. Mm-hmm. So you have to put in all this work now, because once you have systems in place, once you have things, then you can kind of pull back a little bit, but it's kind of putting in that leg work at the very beginning. And so
if you don't have one end, then you can't appreciate the other end. Like absolutely.
So you talked a little bit about putting in your 2 hours of training. What does like a training session, your personal training session, what does that look like?
So I train with clients. One of the things I found is in that 2 hour period, actually one of the hours is with actually a client, but I'm working out with them. So what I end up finding is, guys at a similar age to me that have similar goals in terms of training, they come and work out with me. And we do a functional bodybuilding split. I mean, for the last 3 years, we've done push, pull, legs, shoulders, arms, like on a 5-day split. Take the weekends off. Sometimes I'll do boot camp run by another coach on the Saturday. So 5 to 6 days a week I'm training, about 60 to 90 minutes. Heavy, high volume lifts. I get to do all the other stuff, the mobility with clients as well. So like I've got an 83-year-old that focus on mobility. Well, while he's doing his stretches, I'll do it with him and chat with him as he does it. But I'm getting that benefit too. So like I get to take a sliver of everyone's training program that I like. But yeah, we're actually moving in August. We're changing our split. We're going to be doing 2 upper, 2 lower. So we're going to decrease the training frequency to 4 days and increase the frequency on that body part. Because right now we're doing push once a week. We're doing pull once a week. We're doing low body once a week. Now I'm going to do push, pull, push. No, sorry, I'm going to do upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. So now I'm getting 2 pushes, 2 pulls every week. I'm getting 2 leg days every week. So we're actually, and again, it goes with program. We do this with clients all the time. It's just I'm changing my routine up in August where we're actually going to increase the intensity on those body parts. You share that time a little bit, so I don't know. We'll see how the length of the workout goes. It might increase the duration slightly as we decrease from 5 to 4 days. But I'm always trying things, and if I like them, well, guess what comes up in my clients' programs in the future? So that really worked after this thing, changing it up this way or that way. Almost everything that I program, I've done. I'm experienced in it. I've felt it. And so I know what the client is going to go through. So yeah.
That's really dope to hear, because I used to think, because I didn't see too many people, because I used to train with one of my clients like almost exclusively, and she's actually part of how I was able to get the supplement sponsorship, because we were just like really funny and everything. And it was cool because she actually was like, she helped keep me accountable. And she was actually, because if I was getting too distracted or whatever, she'd be like, no, come on, we gotta go. Even though people would think that I was the one who was like, and obviously I was making, but she was, because she didn't have the time, because she was a meteorologist for KSN. So her schedule was, she had like an hour and we had to get stuff done. And so she kept me on track. And even now I still work with a few of my clients where I'll go run with them, because I hate running. But if I'm running with my clients and everything, it just kind of gives you that extra motivation. So that's, I love that, working out with your clients, and, because it's
absolutely
multitasking.
They probably enjoy it more. There's some clients that wouldn't, but I think the majority of them would prefer to do it with someone, with you, and that's why you're hired anyways. They have the accountability, they have someone to do it with. I think we're humans, right? We need the same thing. If you're not getting coached by someone, it's probably not as good as it could be. Like, you will get bored and burnt out of your own ideas eventually. And my current program is programmed by my coach Bella, who's one of my staff. Like, I'm following what she wants me to do. I might modify it here and there, but like, then I don't have to think. I like, oh, what are we doing today? Oh, this is what we're doing. Like, we pull up the app, we see she's programmed it for us, and we follow it. So that's been the new change for me. And like I said, next month we've told her we wanna change it to upper body, lower body, twice a week split. So we'll see how it goes.
That's funny, because that's actually going into my next question. I was going to be like, who coaches the coach? Because a lot of people are kind of surprised when people who are like trainers or whatever have, I mean, I feel like to other trainers, it's not like weird or it makes sense, but to like other people who aren't in the fitness industry, they sometimes are like, oh, you don't do your own stuff? And I'm like, no, because I'm going to do the things that I want to do. And also, I'm so busy trying to create programs, doing all this stuff for other people, that I don't want to spend the time on trying to create the program for myself. I'd rather just have somebody who knows my goals, just go and tell me what to do. And kind of like you said, I'll do most of what they say, and then I'll add a little bit of what I want, or make
how you feel that day.
changes.
You're like, oh, I did my elbow, kind of, let me warm up. It's not on the program, but I'm going to warm up this a little bit more. And now my knowledge comes back into it a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. Have someone else be part of it. And they'll ask you, oh, how do you find it? And then it's the same. Coaches need coaches. I mean, a doctor, you think they do anything without another doctor, if they have a medical emergency? Or, you go to the dentist, they're going to have another dentist do their treatment, right? It goes for every industry, I think.
Great way to look at it. And then kind of last one with this section is, what do you do for like your continued learning? Like, do you have like, I mean, obviously besides this podcast, which I know you're an avid subscriber to and stuff, but are they like podcasts or like conferences or like things that you do? And if so, could you like name them?
Yeah, absolutely. Big one's Andrew Huberman. He's my favorite. He's always got experts that I just really enjoy the science aspect of the human body. And he's got a book coming out called Protocols that I early subscribed to years ago when he first mentioned it. Here's a big one, but there's I now forget all the names. Peter Attia, he's another one you've probably heard of that's big in the industry. But yeah, I do that in the morning. I have a 25-minute drive every morning to and from work. So I do podcasts during most of that time, rarely listen to music. Music's on in the gym all day, so I do podcasts on the way, and it kind of wakes me up in that drive. I like I said, I'm not a morning person, so having that intellectual kind of conversation happening gets my brain kind of firing. I like to arrive with that plan. I have to maintain my CSCS. So it's actually pretty cool. Just yesterday, I got an email from the NSCA that said, you make sure you recertify before the end of the year because your cycle's up. And it's like, you've hit 10 years. You've been certified as a CSCS for 10 years now. I thought that was pretty cool. But I have to do continued quizzes and continued education there. So I'll do those quizzes as they come through. You've got to attend a conference every year. So the state clinics I attend they're here in Kansas, but occasionally we'll do national ones that we'll go to, and just stay in. I follow a lot of social media. I kind of post in ghost nowadays, but a couple of years ago, it was more I would follow I have different accounts. I have a personal account, I have a training account, I have an Amplify account, and the different accounts follow different populations. So if I log into the Amplify account, the feed is all physical therapists and strength coaches. So all it's bringing me down is those types of content. And so if I want to look at I want to do some sort of agility training with this soccer team, I want to do some lateral stuff, change direction, and I'm just drawing a blank. Well, I'll pull up that social media and see what other people have. That applies. That I could modify that a little bit, but that could work. And I don't have to come up with every answer. There's resources, there's answers out there. You've got to find them. I'm the resource for the client and the team. So I've got to find it. And whether it's someone else that's done that and they've put it up on their social media, I'm not ashamed of. Yeah, and that's a great piece of work. I'm going to do that. Yeah, that doesn't say anything less about me. I'm still finding that content, that exercise, that whatever it is, for them to do it. So I do social medias a little bit, but like I said, in the last year since I took the sport complex over, my own social media use has definitely gone down. I don't post as much, and when I do, I post to get it out, and then I say ghost. I just get off of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been doing that. That's pretty much the story of my life.
Yeah. I think it's toxic. I really don't love social media. You got to do it for business, but in personal, I don't value it. I don't. Most of it's useless and distractions. So I don't like it that much.
Okay, so we're going to go into a lightning round where you're just going to you're going to pick or answer the question just as quickly
as I can,
as you
Short
can.
Answers.
Okay, so yes. So which one of these? Coffee, energy drink, or pre-workout?
Tea. You can't say coffee to an Englishman.
Oh my gosh.
I am an energy drink, mostly though, energy drink. Now, can I combine that with the tea? I do a yerba mate tea. But yeah, Ghost energy drink is my go-to.
Okay.
I like the ingredients a little better than the others. I had Alani in the past. I know you favor the Alani.
Yes. Trying to get that Alani sponsorship.
We have currently a Prime sponsorship, but they don't do energy drinks. Mm-hmm. So I'm working with Prime right now, and we've got a lot of sports drinks. But yeah, I'd say Ghost is my energy drink that I probably drink the most.
Okay. Favorite lift? Lightning round. First thing comes to mind.
Dumbbell press. I mean, that's just, it's kind of the go-to. You've got to build that chest.
Least favorite lift?
Just a back squat. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, whoa. I don't like putting a heavy barbell on my back. I've gone through injuries, and there's other options. So.
Okay. Most overrated exercise?
How's this a lightning round? This is a hard one. Overrated exercise? What doesn't do much for you that people do a lot? I mean, a sit-up, like a crunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
spicy.
Yeah, okay. I don't think a sit-up's very useful. I mean, you've got to be able to do sit-up in life, but there's, again, a lot of... The abs are complex, and they don't just flex, so...
Okay. Most underrated exercise?
Walking, if that count. We need to do more of that. Yeah. We need to do more of that.
Your favorite recovery tool?
Sleep. Does that count? We try to get as much of that. We've got the cold plunge that people really like. I don't know if it's recovery really. I mean,
Plus, you're hyping up your business, so we'll
I can
count
sleep.
it.
That didn't hype up my business. That was my first quick answer.
But the cold plunge.
The cold plunge.
All right. Biggest pet peeve in the gym. There's so many.
I know. Yeah, biggest one. Tighten up after people are not putting their weights away. That's annoying. Unsolicited advice, that's pretty annoying. I try to hold my tongue unless I'm asked. I mean, when I'm in my space and I'm being paid to train people, obviously I'm going to tell people what I think. But if I was to be on my own workout and I see someone doing something wrong, I don't necessarily always tell them that.
Unless they're like about to injure themselves.
Yeah, unless there's an injury risk. Yeah.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah, it's good that they're there, and you got to celebrate that.
And then sometimes you don't know what they're training for.
Right.
That's what I always say in my mind. I'm like,
yeah, I saw. If you're saying, I know this lightning round. I'm sorry, but I saw a video of a girl that's on the Olympic bobsleigh team, and so she's hand on the bobsled and she's running to get in and then jump in. Well, then she's run in a commercial gym on a treadmill. She's running with her hand touching the floor and like trying to run on this treadmill. And like everyone is like, what the hell is she doing? But you're right. You know, what are you training? What are your goals? Is there a little bit modifications people need all the time? There isn't one right answer. So yeah, you're absolutely right there.
An exercise everyone should master.
I'm really bad at lightning rounds. We should all master the single leg balance. We should all be able to do that because that will apply. That does a lot in more facets of your life. So you're better at squatting if you have good balance. You're better at walking if you have good balance. You're better at brushing your teeth if you can balance well. So like go up the stairs. Don't fall over. Don't break your hip. Like, yeah, sure, that'll work.
Okay. So going into our business rep, this is our last section. Okay. So this is the very last, and we made it. But for you, since, we're, elite athlete, you are a supplement guru, you are a freaking entrepreneur savior with Wichita Edge. Yeah. So we're going to want you to kind of help, we talked about physical reps. We're going to do some business reps. So for people who are a little bit more interested in the entrepreneurship, business side of stuff, what's one business decision that's paid off the most for you, would you say? If you like one.
Outsourcing, like paying someone else to do a job that would be better done by them than you. Yeah. Like understand that I can do those things, but I'm not an expert in those, certain things. Someone else is, and yes, it costs money, but it'll be done better, and then you can focus on other things, right? So like staying in your lane a little, it would be good, and then just failure doesn't exist. You just keep grinding, and you'll be fine. Like just believe in that, and you make your own reality. I really truly believe you make your own reality. Like whatever you believe and think is going to happen will happen if you just grind. Like just make that your mission and it will happen, and you'll enjoy doing it if that's truly what you want to do. So yeah, keep going.
One of the things that I say, and it applies to fitness, and as I've aged a little bit, and even with like business and different things, is just because I can doesn't mean that I should.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yes, I could do some of this stuff and I could learn how to do it, but is that the best uses of my time? And, what am I giving up to put in to get this to where it needs to be at, when I can just maybe train a little bit more and get the money to go and have somebody else do it or something. So, so it kind of coordinates right with that. What's one mistake that's taught you the most?
I would say make sure your paperwork and your legal writing is correct. Like, you can get caught, like, especially when I trust almost everyone instantly, and they have to lose my trust. Now, some people do not operate in that way, but I build in relationships. I'm very personable, and I work with people, and I'm trying to help them. They're trying to help me. You've got to have contracts in place. Make sure that you are covering your bases in case the relationship breaks down. What you want to know what it covers. Whatever this contract is, this agreement, make sure that you have a lawyer that can overview it if it's very important. If it's not as important, just like really read through it and make sure it covers you. Probably recommend a lawyer at most. They're expensive, but it just takes the stress off you to like not have to worry about it. Yeah.
Very true, because you have to look at yourself, especially if you are somebody who's in the fitness that's going into ownership and everything, that there's just a lot more that goes into that. And
I've had to learn a lot. I mean, people will do surprising things, that you know, not what they initially said. They don't fulfill their end of the deal, and you just got to protect yourself. Unfortunately, I wish people did fulfill their end. I don't think it's always intentional, but sometimes you get screwed over if you're not careful.
Okay, and the last question is, what is one piece of advice you give someone starting in the fitness industry today?
Always be a student. Always learn. Continue to learn, you become a good resource, and it's someone, you can help teach that. As soon as you think you know it all, you get a big head, you get an ego, and that's when I think you decrease. And I think in times I've gone through that myself, and I realized, like, hold on a second, like, you might not like this, or like, I don't know. You got to learn, what can I be curious, what can you learn about it? Try not to be judgmental, stay open-minded. That will get you a long way, and then after that your passions will take it further. So if you stay just an open book and just absorb everything that you can absorb, get yourself around the right people, and you'll be fine.
Nice. Okay, so if people want to reach you, even though you will probably ghost them on social media, but you give like yours, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, I think the best way would is look at our website, is amplifymytraining.com, which is edgesportscomplex.com. We have social media. We have Instagram, which is Amplify My Training. You can reach me by email at andy@amplifymytraining.com. And then my business number, 316-200-9014. You can reach out to me there, that line. Again, I might not answer immediately. You'll be
he won't.
Yeah.
He's busy.
There will be a list of unread. But I do get back to you when I get chance. I do call on everyone that did reach out. It just takes me a little bit as my days are full. So happy to help people. But if anything, stop in. I think I prefer in one-on-one interactions. I think that's where I get the most out of it, where the customer gets the most out of it. So come by and see us. We're at 5260 North Toiler, up in Bel Air, 53rd and Webb. If you come in and you'll see what the difference in the experience is all about, and I think you'll be happy. We have loads of options from training to just memberships now. You can do a $50 membership, just get access and come work out. And you'll see everyone's there to put in work. They're not. It's a cool community, and there's a social network there now because of everyone that does attend. But yeah, it's different to a gym, and until you experience it, you won't know. So come see it.
Yeah, come check out his training facility, because it's not a gym. Yeah. It's a training facility. Yes, he made sure to let people know. And any big events or anything coming up for the rest of the year, or?
Next, in the facility, in the sports complex, we've got national basketball, MAYB Nationals. So that's at the end of this month. It's a 4-day tournament, hundreds of teams, and it's at multiple locations, not just our facility. We partner with MAYB, and I really have a good relationship with them. I like them, and we'll be hosting those coming up. So if you're a basketball player in the youth area in Wichita, you're already going to know that it's happening, and you'll be there. In terms of Amplify. We get back to the school season. You know, August is coming around, so school starts again, and that changes our demographic a little bit, our population base. We get the college students back, those training programs, and then the summer stuff ends. So we're currently seeing a lot of the summer break students right now. So that will switch up for us.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for being the first guest on
Wow.
our Inside the Industry.
I appreciate
part.
that. It's an honor.
Yeah. Well, we had to spin the block and come back. Like I said, you were there with our first season of Turtleneck Table Talk, and you were a great guest. And as I was developing kind of this podcast and kind of figuring out what I wanted to do, I randomly ran into you at Sam's, and I saw that as a sign because I was kind of thinking I didn't know who I wanted to be a guest and what I wanted to do and how I was going to make everything happen. And just seeing you at that moment, because even though we're friends and we like in fitness and we have a lot of mutual friends, we don't actually see each other that often, surprisingly. Like I figured we would see each other a lot more. But seeing you at Sam's was like, okay, that's a sign. I need to make this happen, and I'm going to make sure that you're like my first guest. And so
thank you.
Here you are.
I
and so it's just great. And just hearing your story and everything was just so insightful. You dropped a ton of knowledge and a ton of insight. So loved having you as a guest.
Appreciate it. I will say one quick plug to you is I do follow what you do, and I've always been impressed with your work ethic too. Like you continually do stuff, and we are so different, but we're similar, but we are so different too. So like people that know us both, we're in the same kind of field. We've done different avenues, we've gone to different paths, but we both have we have a passion for what we do, and I think that resonates with people, and that's why we've been successful. So keep doing what you're doing too, because it's cool to watch.
Thank you. And like I said, I have the same respect for you, and I think that that's why, even though we might not see each other or even talk, but whenever we are connected, it's just like, because I feel like we have like that same drive, that same initiative, and we just focus it in different ways. But it's just always great seeing you. So I'm just really happy to have you here. And so if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, and share it with somebody who's passionate about fitness and performance. And if you want Andy to come back and maybe talk in depth for a deep dive learn session where maybe he talks about supplements, because he's supplement guru apparently, like I said, just holding all these things out on me. If you want to see him back and go into a deep dive and really learn about one of the specific things that he talked about, because we talked about quite a bit, and even though I know this is a long podcast, we were just scratching the surface on so many topics. So if you want him to come back, let me know down in the comments below. And so until next time, keep training smarter, keep optimizing your performance, and keep creating your own fitness blueprint.